puffed out his chest, and put his hands on his hips. Come along, ladies and gents, get your fresh fruit here. You never saw such rosy apples, straight from the fields of Kent, rosy as the cheeks of your very own sweetheart. Come by, come by. Aunt Mags was unimpressed. No good, Fred. You'd be bored within a week, and that's a fact. If they know us too well here, Pa, why don't we go somewhere else? Rosie came to stand beside her father. What about going outside London? Yes, Charlie nodded enthusiastically. We could go north. Bet they'd love us there. Don't suppose they've ever seen players like us. He paused. Do they speak English? North? Aunt Mag's tone suggested that she thoroughly disapproved of anywhere beyond Camden Town. That's foreign. Besides, how do we get there? Hetty's old. She'd never pull the cart that far. Pa Pringle put his hand on his heart. And that, my dears, is the terrible truth. Our beloved four-legged friend who has been our loyal companion for so many years. He fished in his pocket, brought out a large spotty handkerchief and wiped his eyes. He's not going to last much longer. So there we are. We are done for. The last act of the Pringle Players is staring us in the face. The curtain will fall, and we'll have to take our final bow. The lights will slowly dim. Train! Rosie clapped her hands. We could go by train. I've seen the trains, Pa. They have carts a bit like ours, but the train pulls them. We could go anywhere. Charlie's eyes were shining. North, south, east, west, anywhere the train goes. North, south, east, west, Pa said thoughtfully. North, south, east, west. I like the sound of that. Yes, 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 yes. He seized Charlie and Rosie and whirled them round. We will seize the opportunity and live to play again. It took the combined efforts of Pa, Charlie and Rosie to convince Aunt Mags that travelling on a train wasn't certain death on wheels. Ma Pringle was also doubtful, but Charlie and Rosie's enthusiasm, together with the hope of a rise in income, eventually persuaded her it might be worth trying. After all, she said, our dear Queen Victoria goes by train. If it's good enough for her, it should be good enough for us. Aunt Mags sniffed. She probably has a special carriage, padded, I expect, so when it overturns, she doesn't get hurt. Royalty live by different rules. If you'd come with me, Mags, you'd see for yourself. The idea of a new way of travelling had seized Pa's imagination, and he had spent the last few days visiting Victoria, Paddington, St Pancras and King's Cross stations, studying timetables and discussing routes with anyone prepared to talk to him. Safe as houses, trains. Bit mucky, mind, but we can pack all the props and costumes safely away. Horrid, dirty things, Aunt Mags grumbled. I've seen them going along the viaduct, and I've seen what they do to the washing hanging out in the gardens down below. Disgusting. You'll never get me on one of those, not if the Queen herself was to beg me on her bended knees. Alas! Pa Pringle slapped his head with a despairing cry. Alas! So the Pringle Players must continue without their finest member. No more can our audiences thrill to the dulcet tones of Miss Margaretta Pringle as she declaims the immortal words of our dearly beloved bard. No longer can we offer that well-known tableau, the crowning of the Queen of Sheba, with accompanying song and dance. He leant against the wall, closed his eyes and sighed his most heart-rending sigh. Rosie nudged Charlie. They knew their aunt well. 10, Rosie whispered. Nah, it's an 8 at most, Charlie whispered back. Together, they silently counted on their fingers. 1, 2, 3. Before they had even reached 6, Aunt Mags had blown her nose, taken a deep breath, and given in. If you really think it's for the best, Fred, I'll go. Then, feeling she hadn't made enough of a dramatic moment, she flung out her arms. Forgive me, Fred. What a miserable wretch I am, putting my own comfort before the needs of our little troupe of players. Take me to a train, and I will put my objections to one side and suffer agonies in the name of art. Much relieved, Pa Pringle